What's good, everybody out there? If you are new to the channel, subscribe, like, comment, and share. Let's talk about it. This episode is brought to you by Cocoa Breeze Body Butter, featuring my new fragrance, King Scent. Fellas, let me tell you something. When you finish taking a shower, after you do your regular rub down, arms and everything else, right? Do your face, rub this in your beard, and your beard will sparkle all day long. Facts. Alright, so somebody asked me a question on Facebook that I was about to type the answer, but number one, it'll be a long message to type, and I don't feel like typing. And I just actually left a video about something else, so I decided just to leave it in a video, and I'll just attach the video to the answer. So the question was, the question was phrased, married couples, and then had my name on it. What's your secret? Or what's the key, or something like that. And I had to sit and think about it for a minute, and I can only answer from my standpoint, number one. So if I had to quantify it all into one word, I would have to say understanding. Think understanding from a whole bunch of different standpoints is really the key. It's the thing to focus on, understanding. Everything needs to center around understanding. The first understanding is y'all shared understanding of who God is, who Allah is, and operating under those boundaries. So, whatever your shared spirituality is, let that be the boundary in which y'all operate. So a shared understanding of that is where you start. But then also understanding, as a man, we have to understand that a woman is going to be a woman. Right? And we have to understand, first of all, we both have to understand our roles. And I think more importantly, as a man, I have to understand my role. Because even if I understand my role and she doesn't understand her role, then I can educate her on what her role is. So we both have to understand our roles. Right? Comes back to that word, understanding. We both have to understand our roles. And first, I have to understand mine. And my role as a man is to approach everything from a logical standpoint. To approach everything and to make every decision from a standpoint that not only benefits everyone involved, if it's just y'all two, or it could be y'all two and your children, but I have to always be in a space where I'm making decisions from a logical standpoint, because I also have to understand that as a woman, a lot of the decisions are going to come from an emotional standpoint. And there's nothing wrong with that. They're both equally needed. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, because we usually come from a logical standpoint, we need to kind of see things from an emotional standpoint. We need to be a little bit more empathetic and all those different things that a woman normally comes from. We're trying to make sense of everything, and they're trying to make everything feel better. You know what I'm saying? So understanding that, and understanding that both of those things are equal, and both of those things are needed. Like, a woman's perspective is just as important as a man's perspective, and you need both of them. So as a man, I have to understand that I can't answer emotion with emotion. A lot of times where marriages break down is where you find yourself in the most emotional situations. And for us as men, our challenge becomes not trying to feed into the emotions and always trying to think about it from a logical standpoint. From a logical standpoint, if she's upset, what is she upset about? You know what I mean? Is it something, if she's upset about something that I did I really do it? These are times where you have to be honest with yourself. And these are times where you have to humble yourself to the moment. You know what I'm saying? Is it a thing that is it something that I really did? If it's not, then what is it? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times we don't understand where she's coming from, so then we get frustrated. And after getting frustrated, then that's where you start getting more and more emotional, and then decisions are made or actions are taken, and so forth and so on. So first, understanding that she's a woman and she's going to be emotional about a lot of things. So while doing what you have to do, you have to understand that your actions and different things that you do may trigger certain things emotionally, and by understanding that, you expect it when it happens. And if you expect it when it happens, and you're always thinking from a standpoint of logic, then you should already be prepared for it when it happens. Either A, not putting yourself in whatever situations that may trigger it, or B, once it triggers, you either you know how to respond to it, and you know how to deal with it without adding extra emotion on top of it. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of men don't understand that. So you have to understand who she is. You have to understand who you are as a man. And as a man, what I understood in my marriage, what helped us to move forward, is I always understood we've been to the point where it's like, let's just end this so many times. You know what I'm saying? And what I always thought about was the fact that, what's the long term, like, first, what is this? You know what I'm saying? How detrimental is this? And if we were to end this, how will it impact not just me, her, and the children as well? These are the decisions that we gotta make. Sometimes we get caught up in the emotion and we just pull the trigger, because most marriages, outside of some type of real abuse or anything like that, most marriages end when we say it's over. You know what I'm saying? When we finally stop fighting, or when we finally give up. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that one has power over the other, or one is more important than the other. It just means that a lot of times, in a lot of situations, a woman's coming from an emotional standpoint. And the emotional standpoint is how she feels right now. You gotta understand that, and understand that you have to be thinking about how she's gonna feel tomorrow and the next day. You know what I'm saying? What's the gravity of the situation? Can anything be done to try to fix the situation? You know what I'm saying? Or what will this decision do to myself going forward, her going forward, and if you have children going forward? You know what I mean? So a lot of times, as the man, if there is logically, all emotion aside, something that could be there and built upon, and you know what I'm saying, then you don't ever give up fighting, because that's usually when the woman finally gives up. When you finally stop fighting for her, then she gives up, and then that's when it's over. You know what I mean? So I had to come to a lot of understanding about a lot of things, and in order to get to that point, you have to humble yourself. And that's the problem that a lot of us have as men, is our ego won't allow us to humble ourselves. And so those are the things that's the the word that I would say sticks out to me. And just taking everything from that standpoint, those are the things that I understood and came to an understanding of, that whatever situation that I found myself in, you know what I mean, or we found ourselves in as a couple, as you know what I mean, it was always able to, okay, how do I understand what's going on? You know what I'm saying? What's the problem? Let me understand the problem. Let me understand you. A lot of situations happen in marriages where the two just don't understand each other. You could live with a person for years and don't understand them if you don't never take the time to. A lot of times we want people to understand us and relate to us. We don't want to take the time and relate to other people and understand other people. And so mutual understanding. You know what I'm saying? It's very important, and both parties have to be equally invested in that. You know, let me understand where he's coming from. Let me understand where she's coming from. But as a man, you know, like, I think a lot of it starts with us, because, you know, especially if we understand, we may not fully understand the emotions, but we understand that a lot of what's going to come my way from her is going to be from an emotional standpoint. You know what I mean? And, you know, accepting that, understanding and accepting that will give you the chance to logically think of a game plan to deal with it. You know, I understand it, so let me deal with it and move on to the next step. And so that's my secret. That's what I understood over all of these years. And you know, right or wrong, that's how I feel. Okay? So if you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, share this, move it around, comment, let's talk about it. All right? Peace.